Alright. Shalom Yasharallah. Giving all praise and glory to the Most High power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. As always, I'm going to start off with Colossians 3:17. And whatsoever you do in word or deed, do all by Hashem Mashiach Yahushua, giving thanks to the Most High and the Father by Hashem Mashiach Yahushua. So all that we say and do is going to be in the name of the Lord and Savior of Mashiach Yahushua. We give praise and glory to the Most High power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. We thank Him for everything, because He's worthy to be praised for everything. Hallelujah to His glorious and holy name. Hashem Mashiach Yahushua. The water. Thank you. So we go to Leviticus 23rd chapter, and we're going to read verse 23 to 25. We're honoring this first day of the 7th month and the new moon. Since the new moon is on the first day of the month, our month, not concerning, has nothing to do with Esau's calendar. It's the new moon, so it starts the beginning of the 7th month. So Leviticus 23 and 23. And the Most High spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel, saying, in the 7th month, in the first day of the month, shall ye have a Sabbath. See, a memorial of blowing of trumpets and holy convocation and holy gathering. It's a holy convocation. Convocation means a holy gathering. It says, ye shall do no servile work therein, but ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Most High. Say, this is the memorial of the blowing of the trumpets. So look at Numbers 10 and 10. So it's on the first day of the 7th month. And the first day, as I said, is a Sabbath of the Most High. So let's look at Numbers 10 and 10. Numbers 10 and 10. Also in the day of your gladness, and in your solemn days, and in the beginnings of your months. This is representing the new moon, the beginnings of our months. You shall blow with the trumpets over your burnt offerings and over the sacrifices of your peace offerings, that they may be to you for a memorial before your power. I am the Most High, your power. This is what we did on the first day of every month, which represents the first day of the month, called the new moon. And we're going to get into it. But on the 7th month is the holy convocation of the blowing of the feast of the blowing of the trumpets, and also the new moon feast. So they come together. They are, you know, one and the same, at least on the same day. So since we're in Numbers, go to Numbers 29, and we're going to read verse 1 through 6. Numbers 29, verse 1 through 6. And in the 7th month, on the first day of the month, which we're in, first day of the month, the new moon, ye shall have an holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work. It's like you're supposed to be off on the Sabbath. It's a Sabbath. So you're supposed to be off on the Sabbath. You're supposed to be doing no servile work. So you try and get off on these holy days. You find out when they are, and you try your best to get off on these days. Ye shall have an holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work. It is a day of blowing the trumpets unto you. You see? So this is a holy convocation. And it happens to fall right on Labor Day this year, you see, which is a pagan holiday that a lot of people don't realize. They looking at, oh, it's a day off of work, and they dealing with, you know, Labor Day. You see what I'm saying? It's pagan in its origin. All these things are pagan in their origin, or where you can find it in the Bible. But this is the 7th day, the 7th month, the first day of the month, which represents our holy convocation of Feast of the Blowing of the Trumpets and the new moon feast. So we got two feasts on the same day. And it's a day of gladness, as we just read in Numbers 10 and 10. Verse 2. And you shall offer a burnt offering for a sweet savor unto the Most High, one young bullock, one ram, and 7 lambs of the first year without blemish. You see? All right, and their meat offering shall be of flour mingled with oil. Sound like a roast to me. Like you take a roast and you put that flour on it, put it in the oven, right? 3/10 deals of a bullock for a bullock, and 2/10 deal for a ram, and 1/10 deal for 1 lamb throughout the 7 lambs, and 1 kid of the goats for a sin offering, to make an atonement for you, right? So we know this day and time, Hamashiach Yahushua was the atonement for us, for our sins. That's why we're going to go through the Day of Atonement next. It comes right after the Feast of the Blowing of the Trumpets. You see, we have the Day of Atonement coming up. I believe it's the I gave everybody a calendar, so it'll be I think on the 16th, because it's 10 days after the first, on the 10th day of the 7th month. So it'll come next, and then the Feast of Tabernacles come after that. Okay, so it says, and 1 kid goats for the sin offering to make an atonement for you. See, we don't sacrifice animals anymore, because Hamashiach Yahushua was the ultimate sacrifice for our sins. Beside the burnt offering of the month, and its meat offering, and the daily burnt offering, and its meat offering, and their drink offerings, according unto this matter. For a sweet savor, a sacrifice made by fire unto the Most High. See, we would take the parts of the animal that we didn't eat, like the bladder and the kidney and the fat and the heart and all the different organs, and we would sacrifice that to the Most High, and then we would have, it's like a barbecue. You know we love barbecue. It's wonder why we like barbecue. We having a barbecue, everybody gonna come. We go eat, oh yeah, they barbecue, and everybody want to go, because that's what we did. It's in our nature. I mean, it's in our culture. You see what I'm saying? So this is what we're looking at. But now, since we're in our captivity, scattered among all these nations, now this is what we got to be. Go to Romans, the 12th chapter, verse 1. It says, I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of the Most High. Mercies mean you are not getting something that you do deserve to get. Many a times, because it's mercies. That you present your bodies a living sacrifice. See, we got to present our bodies now as a living sacrifice. Like it's a sacrifice for us to be, you know, making sure that we follow the Most High's feast days. So we got to make sure that our bodies are a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto the Most High, which is your reasonable service. See, he says it's your reasonable service. This is something you should feel like it's a big deal. It's your reasonable service, he said. Look at it said, first thing it said, holy. So what makes you holy? Go to Romans 7 and 12. It say, wherefore the law is holy. The laws of the Most High make you holy. Following his laws make you holy. Moral laws, civil laws, dietary laws, and ceremonial laws. And the commandment holy, and just and good. That's what's good. The Most High is good, and his commandments are good. His laws are good and holy. You see, pure and righteous. So from there, let's look at go back to Leviticus 23rd chapter, so we can start from the beginning, and you'll see that these are feast days of the Most High, and it's a law that we're supposed to honor them and observe them. Leviticus 23 and 1. And the Most High spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, not to everyone, but to the children of Israel, the 12 tribes of Israel, concerning the feast of the Most High. You see, it ain't our feast. These are feasts of the Most High, which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocations, holy gatherings, Even these are my feasts. You got to see this. Well, I got to emphasize that so you understand. Because everybody think everything is about themselves. The Most High said, hey, these are my feasts. 6 days shall work be done, but the 7th day is the Sabbath of rest and holy convocation every 7 days. Ye shall do no work therein. It is the Sabbath of the Most High in all your dwellings, no matter where we live. These are the feasts of the Most High, even holy convocations, which ye shall proclaim in their seasons. You see? Then it goes on to name all the different holy convocations of the Most High. Just wanted to establish that. And it is a Sabbath. We have to honor it as such. So let's go into these blowings of the trumpets right quick. Let's go into it's a sound or warning that we had. And it blew a certain way, you know. Go to Job 39. Job 39. And verse look at 23 and 24. It says, the quiver rattleth against him, the glittering spear and the shield. So this is a warning. The sound of warning. He swallowed the ground with fierceness and rage. Neither believeth he that it is the sound of the trumpet. You hearing it? Doo-doo, doo-doo. Hear that sound, a certain sound for warning. He said among the trumpets, ha ha, and he smelleth the battle afar off, the thunder of the captains and the shouting. So, look at, that's that warning. Look at Jeremiah 4, the book of Jeremiah. That's what we're looking at, this warning. We had a certain sound for the warning. Jeremiah 4 and 19. My bowels, I am pained at my very heart. My heart maketh a noise in me. I cannot hold my peace, because thou hast heard, O my soul, the sound of the trumpet, the alarm of war. See? That's a warning, an alarm of war. That's the sound of a trumpet. It has a different sound. They coming, get ready for battle, get ready to go to war. Had a certain sound, and we heard it, we knew, oh man, we got to get ready, buckle up, you know, strap up. Got to get ready for war. You see? That's what he said. Destruction upon destruction is cried, for the whole land is spoiled. Suddenly are my tents spoiled, and my curtains in a moment. How long shall I see the standard and hear the sound of the trumpet? How long? I mean, he's blowing it. That's why he say, for my people are foolish. They have not known me. They are sottish children, meaning silly and stupid, and don't care about, I'll say, enough about the Most High. And this time, we should be really caring, because he can already show up and really show out. If you don't see what's going on right now, like I said, the first week of the Esau's 9th month. And you mark, as I'm telling you right now, how soon the next disaster happen. Or event that's going to be so tragic as we seeing that hurricane coming. They got another one coming. I think they calling it, I heard they was calling it Larry. It's coming though. But we got more that's happening. So you hear this sound, even in this system, they have a what they call an air raid sound. But we knew the sound, different sounds of the trumpet. Look at Jeremiah 6 and 1. O you children of Benjamin, gather yourselves to flee out of the midst of Jerusalem, and blow the trumpet in Tekoa, and set up a sign of fire, and Beth Hasharim, for evil appeareth out of the north, and great destruction. That's that warning. Like I say, somebody already peeped out the fact that they're coming from the north. So you hear a sound of the trumpet in a certain way, let you know, hey, get yourself ready. Get prepared. They could be trying to ambush us, but we got those men that's out there looking. Look at verse 19. Hear, O earth, behold, I will bring evil upon this people, even the fruit of their thoughts, because they have not hearkened unto my words, nor to the law, to my law, but rejected it. See? You wonder why, we are in the conditions we in. Verse 17, also I set watchmen over you, saying, hearken to the sound of the trumpet. But they said, we will not hearken. We ain't gonna listen to no sound of no trumpet. Why are we gonna listen to that? Most High's warning us. You got watchmen looking out for us. And they telling us, like you just said, hey, they coming from the north. Blow the trumpet. Nobody want to pay attention. That's why he said, But this, he says, it says, verse, Salakia. It says, verse 17 again of Jeremiah the 6th chapter, he say, also I set watchmen over you, saying, hearken to the sound of the trumpet. But they said, we will not hearken. We ain't going to listen. We don't ever want to obey. We always trying to find a way to not follow what the Most High tell us. Verse 21. Therefore, thus said the Most High, power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, behold, I will lay stumbling blocks before this people, and the fathers and the sons together shall fall upon them. The neighbor and his friend shall perish. Thus said the Most High, behold, a people coming from the north country, and a great nation shall be raised from the sides of the earth. Say, hey, we ain't want to listen. We ain't want to listen, so therefore, the Most High say gonna bring evil upon us. And these are the things he already told us. We already know. Do what he say do. Now it's like, think about, you hear all this stuff that he say gonna do. Because we rejected his word. They're rejecting his word now. You think people are gonna get away with rejecting his word? When you see over and over again what he did, he brought a nation against us. Like Esau is his sword. The wicked is his sword. It says in Psalm 17 and 13. So what you think? He ain't gonna use it? He using it. He in order. The Most High the one that kill it and make him alive. Jeremiah 42 and 14. Let's look at verse 13 and what I'm saying through the Spirit. And if you say, he said, if you say, we will not dwell in this land, neither obey the voice of the Most High, your power. If you say this, saying no, but we will go into the land of Egypt, where we shall see no war, nor hear the sound of the trumpet for that warning, nor have hunger of bread, and there will we dwell. We're going to go into Egypt. We're going to dwell there. And now therefore hear the word of the Most High, ye remnant of Judah. Thus said the Most High, power of hosts, the power of Israel. If ye wholly set your faces to enter into Egypt, and go to sojourn there, if you do what you think you saying you're going to do, then it shall come to pass. It's going to come to pass. This is what I'm going to bring upon you. The Most High saying to us, that the sword which ye feared shall overtake you there in the land of Egypt, and the famine, food shortages, whereof ye were afraid, shall follow close after you there in Egypt, and there ye shall die. So shall it be with all the men that set their faces to go into Egypt to sojourn there. They shall die by the sword, by the famine, and by the pestilence. And none of them shall remain or escape from the evil that I will bring upon them. Now, the reason why the Most High is bringing this evil upon us, those men that disobeyed his voice, is because they disobedient. When you're disobedient, you draw evil to you. I can't say it enough. The Most High is righteous. But when you draw evil to you, okay, the Most High got something for you. You see it. You getting the warning. Like we sounding a strong warning sign right now out to our people to tell them it's the last days. And it's going down. And what you gonna do when it comes for you? Don't think none of us are so righteous we can't be touched. Remember, it pleased the Most High to bruise of Mashiach Yahushai. So ain't none of us untouchable. We all touchable. Don't think because you done did whatever you did or feel like you feel in your righteousness that the Most High can't touch you. That's when he really gonna touch you. That's when he touched Job. Because Job said he was righteous. So I don't care nothing about that. He wants us to be obedient to his word and follow what he says for us to do. Go to Jeremiah 51 and verse 27. It says, set up a standard in the land, blow the trumpet among the nations, prepare the nations against her, call together against her the kingdoms of Ararat, Mini, and Ashkenaz, appoint a captain against her, cause the horses to come up as the rough caterpillars. Prepare against her the nations with the kings of the Medes, the captains thereof, and all the rulers thereof, and all the land of his dominion. It's going to happen, y'all. Time of the fall of old great Babylon. And the land shall tremble in sorrow, for every purpose of the Most High shall be performed against Babylon. See? Babylon. A desolation without an inhabitant. Nobody gonna live here. It say, the mighty men of Babylon have forborne to fight. They have remained in their holes. Their might have failed. They became as women. You hear that? They in their holes, ready for battle, right? It said they became as women. They have burned her dwelling places. Her bars are broken. When you say they burned her dwelling places, her bars are broken, meaning the security. The bars is security. Ain't gonna be no security. You hear what it said? The dwelling place is gonna be burned. That's what it's talking about. A purifying element. One post shall run to meet another, and one messenger to meet another, to show the king of Babylon, the leader of Babylon, leader of America, that his city is taken at one end. He's gonna run to tell him, hey, the country is taken at one end. And that the passages are stopped. You can't go through. And the reeds, they have burned with fire. And the men of war are frightened. Remember to say men gonna be like women. Look, let me tell you, they all gonna prepare to fight on Mashiach Yahushai. That's what all these nations are doing. And he's gonna make sure that it go down the way it's gonna go down. On the real. They all preparing to fight on Mashiach Yahushai. Look, let's look at it real quick. In 2nd Ezra 13, get right to the point. It says, verse 9, and lo, as they saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war. Well, let's read verse 8. It says, and after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him, Mashiach Yahushai, when he come back to judge and make war, were so afraid. Like I say, what did he say? They're going to be like women. What did it just tell you? They're going to be frightened. What's the difference? Frightened, scared, afraid. Listen, And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue Hamashiach Yahushai, who's the him here, were so afraid, and yet does fight. Right? And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, all the army, the navy, the marines, the air forces of all these nations getting together to fight him, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war. But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks of tempest. And they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight. But we tell you, they're still going to be scared. And burned them up. That's the conclusion of the matter. And burned them up, every one, so that upon the sudden of the innumerable multitude, nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and smell of smoke. Ezra said, when I saw this, I was afraid. He became afraid, looking at what's going to happen, what's going to go down. So now, what's the difference between when you read in Jeremiah 51 and 30, it says, the mighty men of Babylon, all the mighty men of Babylon, the army, the navy, the marines, the air force, have forborne to fight, as we just read. They have remained in their holds. Their might has failed. They became as women. Hear that? They became as women. They have burned her dwelling places. Her bars are broken. That means her security. No security. The strongholds is done. It says, verse 32, and that the passages are stopped. This is what he's telling the king of Babylon. Passages are stopped, and the reeds have burned with fire, and the men of war are affrighted. They scared. They terrified. For thus said the Most High Power of hosts, the power of Israel, the daughter of Babylon is like a threshing floor. It is time to thresh her yet a little while, and the time of her harvest shall come. You see? And you're going to bring a harvest. We're going to be delivered from our enemies. So as we see, the trumpet blew a sound of alarm. Go to Joel, the 2nd chapter. A sound of alarm. Joel, the 2nd chapter. And we're going to start at verse 1. It says, blow ye the trumpet in Zion, and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Most High cometh, for it is nigh at hand. You hear that? The day of the Most High is coming. It is nigh, meaning near at hand. A day of darkness. See, people ain't ready for this. Everybody think it's going to be in their own. They done visualize their own way that the Most High is going to bring forth the end of this world as we know it now. He said a day of darkness, not light. A day of darkness and of gloominess. A day of clouds and of thick darkness. You hear this? In the daytime, thick darkness for all the destruction that's going to be going on. As we just read. It's going to be nothing but smell of dust and smell of smoke. As the morning spread upon the mountains of great people and the strong, there have not been ever the like, neither shall be any more after it, even to the years of many generations. A fire devours before them. You hear that? A fire devours before us. And behind them a flame burner. Once they went through and burned everything up, behind it's going to be a flame. You're going to see the fire burner behind us. What he say? A great people and a strong with spiritual power from the Most High. A fire devours before them, and behind them a flame burner. The land is as the Garden of Eden before them. Where we going, it's going to be like the Garden of Eden. Yasharallah. And behind them a desolate wilderness, because it's going to be burning. As we read about it. Desolate wilderness, yeah, and nothing shall escape them. Here, there ain't nobody getting away. It said nothing shall escape them. Ain't nobody getting away. The appearance of them is as the appearance of horses, and as the horsemen, so shall they run. Like the noise of chariots on the tops of mountains shall they leap, like the noise of a flame of fire that devours the stubble, as a strong people set in battle array. That's what he's talking about. Before their face, the people shall be much pain. You see that? before our face, say the people will be much pain. All faces shall gather blackness. But remember, it's going what it say. Go back to verse 2. A day of darkness and of gloominess, a day of clouds and of thick darkness. You see? That's why everybody's face going to be black. Just like it was when the Twin Towers came down. And all that soot got on all the people. You can see it. Or did you say that soot going to be black on everybody's faces? They shall run like mighty men. They shall climb the wall like men of war. And they shall march every one on his ways, and they shall not break their ranks. You brothers know how to march? It's just the mighty men that's going to be doing it. They're going to be marching. And they're not going to break their ranks, but they're going to know how to march in step with each other. Neither shall one thrust another. Ain't nobody going to be trying to kill each other either. They shall walk every one in his path, and when they shall fall, and when they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. You gonna tell me that's not spiritual power? That's spiritual power right there. They shall run to and fro in the city. They shall run up upon the wall, They shall climb up upon the houses. They shall enter in at the windows like a thief. Coming in people's houses. The earth shall quake before them. You hear that? The heavens shall tremble. So all this is going on, and you got an earthquake happening. And they still doing the maneuvers that the Most High said they're going to do. You think people are not going to be afraid? Oh, they're going to be scared out of their wits. The earth was quaking before them, and the heavens shall tremble. The sun and the moon shall be dark, and the stars shall withdraw their shining for all this thick darkness. This destruction that's going on. And the Most High, while Mashiach shall utter his voice before his army. For his camp is very great, for he is strong to execute his word. For the day of the Most High is great and very terrible. Y'all ready for this? Who can abide it? Y'all ready for this? Sounding the alarm. You got to hear what he's saying. Ezekiel, the 7th chapter. Ezekiel 7 and 14. They have blown the trumpet, even to make all ready, but none goeth to the battle. For my wrath is upon all the multitude thereof. The sword is without, and the pestilence and the famine within. He that is in the field shall die with the sword, and he that is in the city, famine and pestilence shall devour him. So you see all these things. You understand this. We looking at, okay, well, the trucks are on strike. The truckers are told not to bring the food. The farmers are paid not to deliver the food. What's to have? That's famine. That's causing famine. Now, the Most High's ways and thoughts are not our ways and thoughts. We wonder, well, how is this happening? We're looking at what is going on, but He the one that make it happen. His word is true. There's no way that He's not going to do what He says He's going to do. Now, how He does it, you can go into it with Him if you want to. I just say praise the Most High. You hear me saying praise the Most High. Hallelujah. I have nothing to say about what He does and how He does it. Some people do. But remember, it's a fearful thing to fall in the hands of living power. Because you see He's doing it. It's happening. He said, if if He ain't been time short, He said, will no flesh be left? But because of the elect's sake, You're going to make the time short of this world that we in now. Look, we're still dealing with the sound of an alarm. Go to Amos, the 3rd chapter. No, Amos 2. Not Amos 3, but Amos, the 2nd chapter. It pertains to Moab. Yeah. Let's look at verse 1. It says, thus said the Most High, for 3 transgressions of Moab, which represents the indigenous Chinese, And for 3 and 4 generations, the transgressions that they've done, I will not turn away the punishment thereof. You hear that? They're going to be punished. Why? Because he burned the bones of the king of Edom into lime. Right? But I will send a fire upon Moab. They shall devour the palaces of Kiriath. And Moab shall die with turmoil, with uproar, rioting, with shouting, and with the sound of the trumpet. And I will cut off the judge from the midst thereof, and will slay all the princes thereof with him, said the Most High. Thus said the Most High, for 3 transgressions of Judah, and for 4. I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because they have despised the law of the Most High. Y'all better hear what he's saying, because a lot of you still think you're not under the Most High's laws. Y'all hate the word law. Y'all can deal with the commandments somewhat. I'm talking about you all in these different religions. You don't want to hear that we're under the Most High's law. See what it said? 3 transgressions of Judah, and for 4. I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because they have despised the law of the Most High, and have not kept his commandments, and their lies caused them to err, after the which their fathers have walked. But I will send a fire upon Judah, and it shall devour the palaces of Jerusalem. See, thus said the Most High Power. That's the southern kingdom. Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. Thus said the Most High Power, for 3 transgressions of Israel, and for 4. I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because they sold the righteous for silver, and the poor for a pair of shoes. Talking about the northern tribes. See, that pant after the dust of the earth on the head of the poor, and turn aside the way of the meek. And a man and his father will go in unto the same maid. You hear that? A man and his father and son, going into the same woman, to profane my holy name. So, as you see, the Most High is not playing. We read about judgment. Amos 3 and 6. Shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid? Shall there be evil in the city, and the Most High have not done it? So that trumpet, you hear that trumpet sound, and you know a certain sound means a certain thing. So that trumpet sounding, that alarm, people gonna be afraid. I mean, you hear something go that you ain't heard, all of a sudden just bust out, just real loud. We talk about a thunder, we talk about a siren or something that's real loud. You hear that, you're gonna be like, oh man, wow, it can scare you. It can really scare you. You know, it's very important that we see this, because without it, we could be, you know. That's why I say you gotta be in your right mind. You gotta stay in your right mind, so that you're not caught in with the wrong kind of spirits. You full of spirits. You full of spirits, and you can't really deal with what it is the Most High you're ready to bring down, and bring it down. That's why it's very important to pay attention. Pay attention. That's why he said, shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid? Shall there be evil in the city, and the Most High have not done it? The Most High gonna bring the evil in the city because of the fact of the matter that our people are doing evil. Or people are doing evil, things that are contrary to what's righteous, because most people don't care. 2/3 of our people don't care. So it's not something that you just, going to pick up and all of a sudden, now you got it. No, you got to study. You got to look at this. You got to look at this seriously. Just like Esau had you go through 12 years, get your high school diploma. But you're going to come in the truth and think you're going to go through a few years, now you got it. No. In the spirit, it never stopped. As we get closer to the end, like I say, as you see the disasters happening as a woman in travail, what you going to do? You gonna think you think you've done enough to make it? Through just the disasters that you're gonna bring on this earth. You hear what he's saying? Northern tribes and southern tribes, he gonna get you. He gonna get us if we ain't in the spirit, straight up. People I've seen, it just don't mean nothing because you in this now. Who gonna endure to the end? That's what he wanna know. Who gonna last? Who gonna still be doing this truth? Y'all talking about tribes, man. Where everybody at that's doing the truth, that's rolling in the truth. That's what matters. Zephaniah, the 1st chapter, in the 16th verse. People tripping on, trying to find anything to trip on against us instead of bringing us together. You hear what the Most High is saying. Is this why they don't like the Old Testament? See, I'm going to get you. Zephaniah 1:16. A day of the trumpet, an alarm against the fenced cities. That's your security. And against the high towers. And I will bring distress upon men. Is this who you serve? This is what I'm reading about. Well, I always go to Hebrews 10:31. It's a fearful thing to fall into the hands of living power. You in his hands. You in his hands. When you say, and I will bring distress upon men. Oh, when he bring that distress upon you, you in his hands. Now what you gonna do? Scream and holler? You see, men was afraid. Men was like women. Men gonna be afraid. Just talking about in our last days that we in now. He said, I will bring distress upon men, that they shall walk like blind men. Can't see. Because they have sinned against the Most High. You hear that? So don't let anybody tell you we ain't under his laws. He said, I will bring distress upon men. I don't care how you live it. His word is true. It's coming. Believe this. It's coming. He said, I'm going to bring distress upon men, that they shall walk like blind men, because they have sinned with sin. Sin is a transgression of the Most High's laws. Sin against the Most High. And their blood shall be poured out as dust, and their flesh as the dung, as feces. Neither their silver nor their gold shall be able to deliver them. I don't care how much money you have. Hear what he's saying. Neither your money, no matter how much money you have, and all you that's gold diggers, y'all trying to deal with people that have money in wickedness. Neither their silver nor their gold shall be able to deliver them in the day of the Most High's wrath. You ain't gonna be able to buy yourself. Pay your way out of this. But the whole land shall be devoured by the fire of his jealousy. For he shall make even a speedy riddance of all them that dwell in the land. Hear that? That's what's coming. We know this. Why? Because the Most High is a man that he should not lie. And where you gonna be at these times? You know, it's sad to see the wailing of people and the sadness of people that's lost everything. Every year somebody's losing everything. They don't even have a picture of remembrance of their loved ones or anything. Losing everything. I see the Most High burn everything down to the ground. That's why, you know, it's a day of gladness, but we got to realize as we celebrate and have a good time, we can't forget about what we're hearing about. The Most High, to change us, to make us change. This is all to make you change and enjoy the fact of you were able to have one day closer to the kingdom to get it together. 1 Corinthians 14th chapter, verse 8. For if the trumpet give an uncertain sound, who shall prepare himself to the battle? So if the trumpet sounds an uncertain sound, okay, it's a sound of war, but you hear the trumpet saying the sound of a warning is like do-do, do-do, do-do. And you hear that sound, but it's a sound, they play that sound, it is a sound of war. This is dealing with speaking in tongues and so forth, this chapter. But if you hear that sound, do-do, 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 she says that's a warning. Nonchalant. But you don't realize it's a sound of war, then you're not going to be ready. That's why I say for the trumpet give an uncertain sound, who shall prepare himself to the battle. See? So that trumpet got to give a certain sound. Like I said, we had different sounds for the trumpet to determine what it is that the trumpet is saying to us as a people. We had a certain sound for worship. Even in Brooklyn, New York, when the Sabbath goes down, every 6th day going into the beginning of the 7th day in the evening, they got a siren that go off. You can hear it all over the city. The Jewish people have a siren that go off. And you can hear it all over the city. You know that it's the Sabbath. Go to 1 Chronicles 15. First Chronicles 15. And verse 24. And Shebaniah and Jehoshaphat and Nathaniel and Amasai and Zechariah and Benaniah and Eleazar the priest did blow with the trumpets before the ark of the Most High, and Obadiah and Jehiah were doorkeepers for the ark. So these men that he named first, they did blow the trumpets before the ark of the Most High. You see? Let us know it's time of worship. In the time of worship, we blew the trumpets. And it had a certain sound though. First Chronicles 16 and 42. And with them Heman and seduced with trumpets. See, they had trumpets and cymbals for those that should make a sound, with musical instruments of the Most High. And the sons of Jeduthun were porters. And all the people departed, every man to his house, and David returned to bless his house. But you see, David had men that would blow the trumpets pertaining to us coming together to worship. Look at Psalms, the 81st chapter. Psalms, the 81st chapter. This is dealing with the new moon. Start at verse 1. It says, sing aloud unto the Most High power of our strength. Make a joyful noise unto the power of Jacob. The Most High, power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Take a psalm, a song is a song, you know, and bring hither the timbrel. The timbrel, cymbals, the pleasant harp with the psaltery, with songs, is what it say. Verse 3, blow up the trumpet in the new moon. That's what we at. We dealing with feast of blowing of the trumpets, and we're dealing with the new moon feast. So blow up the trumpet in the new moon, it says. In the time appointed, which is the first day of the 7th month, on our solemn feast day. Hear that? A solemn feast day that we have. But this was a statute for Israel and a law of the Most High, power of Jacob. It's a law that we do this. So if you don't do it, you're breaking the law. It's going against you. And people now, they celebrating the holiday of Labor Day. And some be like, you don't see me, but hey, the Most High sees. Eyes are 10,000 times brighter than the sun. It's better to be doing this, having a good time doing this, than doing that. The Most High said, learn not the way of the heathen. For us, the children of Israel, listen, this he ordained in Joseph. Joseph was in Egypt. for a testimony, when he went out through the land of Egypt, Most High went out through the land of Egypt, where I heard a language that I understood not. Woo, that's deep. He said he heard a language that he understood not. He didn't understand. But he heard the language. He said, that's how much he cared about these other nations. I mean, he said, when he went out through the land of Egypt, where I heard a language that I understood not. So, it is what it is, y'all. A sound of assembly. Go to back to Numbers, the 10th chapter. Blew the horn, a certain sound. We knew that we were supposed to come together and assemble together. Numbers 10. Let's start at verse 7. But when the congregation is to be gathered together, ye shall blow. Hear that? It's assembling ourselves together. So when the congregation be gathered together, ye shall blow, but ye shall not sound an alarm. See, that's what I'm telling you. Got to be a certain sound that we have to listen for to know what that sound of that trumpet is. That's why it says. That's why you look at verse 5. Well, let's look at verse 4. It says, and if ye blow out but with one trumpet, you blow but one trumpet, then the princes, which are heads of the thousands of Israel, shall gather themselves unto thee. If you blow but with one trumpet, it says verse 5, but when ye blow an alarm, then the camps that lie on the east parts shall go forward. See? Giving you orders. When you blow an alarm, that's a certain sound that you know it's alarm. Then the camps that are on the east parts shall go forward. When ye blow an alarm the second time, then the camps that lie on the south side shall take their journey. You see how this is working? They shall blow an alarm for their journeys. You see? There's a certain sound of the trumpet that you're listening for to know, okay, now we move. We don't move till you hear that sound of that trumpet. But when the congregation is to be gathered together, assembling ourselves together, ye shall blow, but ye shall not sound an alarm. That means there's got to be a different sound, like I've been saying. It has to be a different sound that you hear. And the sons of Aaron, the priests, shall blow with the trumpets, and they shall be to you for an ordinance forever throughout your generations. And if you go to war in your land against the enemy that oppresses you, then you shall blow an alarm with the trumpets, and ye shall be remembered before the Most High your power, and ye shall be saved from your enemies. You hear that? So the trumpet we blowing now is this truth.